Good morning, everybody. We'd like to welcome you here to the Mayville History Center in the famous depot right here in Mayville, but more importantly, on the shores of Chautauqua Lake. Unfortunately, as we just commented, the coldest and gloomiest day in about the last month and a half, where we've had beautiful blue skies and sunshine and highs in the mid to 70s to 80s. But the excitement and the sunshine that we all feel inside is really about the news we're going to be announcing today. I'm County Executive P.J. Wendell, again, welcoming everybody to this signing event on the Chautauqua Lake Ecosystem Restoration Study. This has been a long-time partnership, Chautauqua County, as well as our federal representatives, Congressman Langworthy. He's been a champion for this, and most importantly, the Army Corps of Engineers. We will go down and introduce everyone here. Myself, next to me is Colonel Nick Moline from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Pittsburgh District Commander. Next to him, we have Congressman Nick Langworthy of the 23rd Congressional District. And last and certainly not least, Pierre Chagnon, Chautauqua County Legislative Chairman. So at this time, I would like to turn the microphone over to Colonel Moline for a few comments.
Mr. Wendell, Mr. Chagnon, Congressman Langworthy, thank you for your partnership, and it's a real honor as the Pittsburgh District Commander to be here today to really kick off a tremendously important project for Chautauqua County, dealing with beautiful Chautauqua Lake right behind us. So as many of you know, this project, this planning study was authorized in 2018, and through the devoted efforts of our great stakeholders, we're now in a position today to sign the partnership agreement and move forward with this study. And what will this study be about? It'll be about developing a solution to keep Chautauqua Lake beautiful and usable for the people of this region for decades to come. The Corps of Engineers is a federal agency, and we work on behalf of the American people to solve hard engineering problems. Whether it's building bridges, managing our waterways, responding to hurricanes, or studying and eventually implementing solutions to allow us to revitalize our aquatic ecosystems like here at Chautauqua Lake. The Corps stands ready to deliver for the American people. We're very, very excited about this study. We're very, very excited about what this will allow us to be able to deliver for the region. And we're honored to be able to serve here in this place the American people. And really, if you look at what the Corps of Engineers does, our motto is, let us try. And so with our great partners, we will move forward and not just try, but deliver, as Congressman Langworthy said, a prescription for keeping this lake vital and beautiful and usable really going forward. I'm very honored to be here personally in beautiful New York. As I joked before this session, I think I found a great place for me and my young family to visit and enjoy some recreation. And just very thankful for this moment today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel. At this time, I would like to call up our local representative in Congress and no stranger to Chautauqua Lake and his efforts to bring it home for his residents and constituents. At this time, our congressional congressman for the 23rd Congressional District, Nick Langworthy.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. County Executive, and this is a great day for Chautauqua County. Chautauqua Lake has always been a very big part of my life. I spent every one of my childhoods on this lake. It's a resource that's been so important to the people of Chautauqua County for generations. And I know firsthand how important to our local economy that this lake is. But in recent years, we've watched it struggle with environmental challenges, algae blooms, invasive species, sedimentation. These issues have impacted tourism, they've hurt our local businesses, and they've threatened the lake's future. That's why we are all here today as local and federal partners taking this important step to make real improvements to Chautauqua Lake for hopefully generations to come to enjoy its glory. During the fiscal year 2024 appropriations process, we worked to secure $500,000 in federal funding for this aquatic ecosystem restoration feasibility study. I've heard from countless constituents who've expressed frustration over seeing Chautauqua Lake's health deteriorate year after year. And I am proud to be part of the team that helped make this a reality. This study will give us answers and identify what we need to do to get Chautauqua Lake back on track. We're going to look at every option to tackle these environmental problems head on. We need to see measurable progress, cleaner water, healthier fish populations, and reduced algae blooms. This community has long passed waiting around for empty promises in kind of half measures. And now we have reality. We are getting to work, and this is a wonderful day. I want to thank Colonel Malin and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers at the Pittsburgh office. It's a very unique delineation. When we're dealing with Chautauqua County water issues with Lake Erie, that's the Buffalo office. When we're dealing with issues of Chautauqua Lake, it's the Pittsburgh office. And we are very grateful for their partnership, their help, and all of the work that they're going to put in to executing this study. We'll be in regular contact, making sure that we have congressional oversight on this project, and we're moving forward on a timeline that delivers. I will continue, as I said when I was elected, working on this lake for my entire time in Congress. I mean, our key to a brighter future in this community, the health of the lake, is part and parcel to that. We'll continue to push for every additional dollar of federal support needed to implement these recommendations once they're determined. The funding we've secured is just that, the beginning. We're laying a foundation for a larger, long-term commitment to the health of Chautauqua Lake. Looking around this lake and the communities that rely on it, we're talking about a resource that has the potential to boost our local economy, to drive tourism even more, and to enhance the quality of life for all of our residents. When the lake is healthy, surrounding businesses thrive. Property values go up. More people come here. They want to visit. They want to stay longer. And you'll find that on your first visit. Our entire region benefits from a healthy and thriving Chautauqua Lake, and that's why this project is more about an environmental study. It's about the long-term future of this county. We know what's at stake, and we know that if we don't take decisive action, things will continue to get worse. Today's signing ceremony isn't a formality. It's a statement of intent. I'm committed to doing whatever it takes to turn the lake around, and I'll be here every step of the way working with our partners in local government. I want to salute our county executive, P.J. Wendell, for his vision for a healthier lake as part of our overall plan for economic development in Chautauqua Lake. And Mr. Chautauqua Lake himself, Pierre Chagnon, our chair of the legislature. They have been so invaluable to me getting up to speed. I knew a lot about the lake, but I feel like I know an awful lot more because of their strong continued advocacy. And it was just last summer, we got all the different stakeholder organizations around a table. And they gave me an incredible briefing about what each does in their little part, or their very big part, to keep this lake in our region that depends on it, keeping this lake up to speed. And this is an important next step to that very thing. We have the Jefferson Project, which has already gotten underway. This Army Corps study will give us the prescription for the future. And we're not going to settle for anything less than a very healthy and thriving Chautauqua Lake. So it means the world to this community that we're signing this document here today. And I am very grateful to play a part in this. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but together I know that we will turn things around for Chautauqua Lake and give it the attention that it deserves. So thank you all for your support, your work, your advocacy, and your passion. Let's get to work on making Chautauqua Lake healthier and stronger than ever before. Thank you, and God bless you all.
And now, last but certainly not least, as I like that new term, Mr. Chautauqua Lake. But our really, we can't say enough about Pierre and his efforts. Not only the lake itself, but Pierre, this Thursday will be attending an event to sign and begin Phase 3 of our Chautauqua Lake Sewer Project, which, again, has been under the tutelage of Pierre and his efforts to keep our lake clean. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce the Chautauqua County Legislature's Chairman, Mr. Pierre Chagnon.
Thank you. As the Colonel pointed out, this has been a long journey. In 2018, Congress passed and the President signed an authorization for this project study. Since then, we've been pursuing the federal funding that was required to initiate the study. And with great thanks to Congressman Langworthy, this year we were successful in securing that funding. So let's hear it for Congressman Langworthy. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge the steadfast support from Senator Schumer for the last 7 years on this project. It was with Congressman Langworthy's support that we were able to secure the funding to get us to where we are today. And I would also like to acknowledge the support and guidance of our federal lobbyist, Steve Dye, who's been helping us and assisting us throughout this entire process. Without that support, we certainly wouldn't have been as well guided and as well directed to get us to this point. Our work and our cooperation from the Pittsburgh District of the Corps has been superlative, and we certainly appreciate the support and the dedication of the key staff of the Pittsburgh District to work on this project. So we are very well positioned to go forward, and I couldn't be happier and more pleased about the event today to finally kick off this project that we've been pursuing for a long time. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone, for being here. And just a few points. Since taking office, again, I was committed to making sure we are moving the needle on Chautauqua Lake. We have had a lot of anecdotal studies over decades, a lot of Farmer's Almanac stories as to why and where and how. But over the last 5 years, we have taken a very scientific and dedicated approach to what is the lake telling us. Because thanks to our state senator and our state assemblyman and Governor Hochul, she has committed $15 million to finishing that study, the Jefferson Project. And the reason it's again supported as we began the talks of this monumental undertaking we're beginning today, the Army Corps had said a lot of what the Jefferson Project is doing is giving us the science that we would already have to do. So the work is being done already as we speak that's going to enable us to get this across the finish line. The point of this, as the congressman said, is to get results, to have measurable outcomes and be able to show what exactly we are doing. This has been my commitment since taking office. The legislature has been behind me. Our federal partners have been supporting me, and so have our state partners. And now we are finally getting it done. So without further ado, we will each sign the document. We'll have everybody pass it to your left, and we'll rotate so each one of us has a signed document. Excuse me, pass it, yes, to your left. That way each one of us will have a signed document from each other. Thank you.
stage with too many other Nicks.
It's a great name.
It is.
We'd like to thank everybody for attending. Yep. Do we have any questions from the media?
How long will the study take?
We anticipate 3 years to complete the study, but as a great deal of work has already been accomplished through the Jefferson project, as we assess the length, we may be able to accomplish it quicker than that.
Okay. And then from somebody who is visiting the lake, what might we see in terms of the study? Would you be on the water? The Army Corps of Engineers be on the water doing specific things? Or?
Well, I think that there's a couple different aspects. We need to develop an understanding of the inputs into Chautauqua Lake. We need to survey the aquatic vegetation that's present, and we obviously need to work with our local stakeholders to understand the infrastructure that's feeding into or using the lake. So I think you would see all three of those activities occurring in the coming year.
Okay. And will there be work done in the winter as well?
Yes, the study process will continue summer and winter, 365 days a year. Well, maybe not Christmas. I shouldn't commit to that. But minus that, it will be. This will be our number one priority from a planning perspective in the district until it's completed.
And then once it's completed, what's the next step?
Well, once we complete the study, we'll have the prescription and we'll have determined what is required in terms of concrete action, which will then be signed off by the Chief of Engineers and delivered to our stakeholders, to Chautauqua County and of course to Congressman Langworthy's office and Senator Schumer's office. And once that's complete, what the Army Corps does as a federal agency is describe what needs to be done and make an estimate of the cost to do it. At that point, our stakeholders and partners would then look at the vehicle in order to implement.
Okay. And have you done this kind of a study on other lakes in the United States?
We've done a number of different studies of just this type. What I was saying before this ceremony was that the Chautauqua Lake study will really be a pace setter, because the challenges that Chautauqua is facing are faced by a number of other lakes, not just in New York, but in Pennsylvania and even in Ohio. So there's a great opportunity coming out of this study.
Any other questions?
Will the study address climatology at all? The effects that it may have on the lake and pond levels and things like that?
Absolutely. So what we will do is a full hydrology and hydrologic study of the lake and the watershed, which will be inclusive of rainfall, using the latest models to be able to determine it. So we'll look at the situation that the lake is facing now and is also anticipated to face in the future.
Any others? Well, thank you so very much for attending.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you on the lake.